Hi there, my name is Stephanie Meyer Heydt, and I'm the Margaret and Terry Stent Curator of American Art at the High Museum of Art in Atlanta. And I'm thrilled today to be taking over the High's Instagram story with #AMA. So thanks to all of you who sent all the great questions, and let's just dive in. Thanks. There are several, but I have two right now that I'm actually looking into. One is the artist Huey Lee Smith, an African-American artist in the mid-20th century, and we just acquired an amazing work by him called Man on a Roof. It's just a really stunning picture, and it's from 1954. I'd love to know more about it. What was his motivation behind the picture? Why he painted that theme. He returned to the theme of Man on a Roof many times. And so I'd like to better understand it. The other artist I'm interested in is a 19th century artist, Eastman Johnson. Started doing some research into his work. He actually was very interesting painting around the time of the Civil War and after, both African Americans and women in very interesting, I think, and engaging ways. And I'd like to learn more about that and dig into that too. There are many African-American artists who I'd love to have better represented here in the High Museum's historic collections. Alma Thomas comes to mind, an amazing artist who was born in Columbus, Georgia, so she has some local relevance, but also just an incredibly important late 20th century painter. Early 20th century, I'd love to have better representation in our collection of works by Jacob Lawrence. We have an important gouache by him, but I would love to have more examples of his work. Aaron Douglas is an artist I've been really interested in acquiring for the High Museum. And Archibald Motley would be fantastic too. In the 19th century, we have one small work by Robert Duncanson. Would love to have another example, a more major example by him in our collection. And to the early 19th century, Joshua Johnson, who was a portrait painter in and around the Baltimore area and along the East Coast. Really fantastic and interesting paintings from early America. There's a lot I love about museum work, but working with the objects is probably my most favorite part of the job. Just how lucky I am to spend time with these amazing artifacts from our history, these artistic expressions, and the kind of stories they tell about our history. I think it's just fascinating to unpack them. I also, of course, love acquiring things for the collection. That's a great deal of fun too. Going off and taking a look around out in the world and seeing what fits and what we need for the collection, and then bringing it home is a real thrill. And of course, there's always exhibitions. There's nothing better than opening day of an exhibition that you've worked really hard on, and exciting to see all the ideas come together. So the question is, what was it like to reassemble the profile series by Romary Bearden for the exhibition that we opened at the High in 2019? And the short answer was, it was really hard, but it was also a thrill. We had to track down works that had scattered to the wind. They'd gone into private collections all over the country, all over the world, really. And we really were helped all along the way. We had some amazing encounters with private collectors, with dealers, and folks in the auction industry who really pulled out all the stops and helped us track everything down. Worked with the Bearden Foundation that also really did an amazing job of sharing information with us. So it was hard. We didn't find everything we wanted to. We certainly didn't find everything we'd hoped for, but we found many works, and really did, I think, a good service to history, to pulling together Bearden's original vision for the profile series. So yeah, it was great. So my favorite exhibition has to have been working on the Romary Bearden exhibition that we opened in 2019 here at the High Museum. Just everything about it, just the artist, his work is just so amazing, just so rich, so layered, so much to learn. I left, closed the exhibition feeling like I still had more to say, and that's always maybe a good sign. Loved working with my co-curator, Dr. Robert O'Mealy, an incredible scholar at Columbia University, and Catherine Huff, my curatorial assistant, also did a tremendous job, and just great team. Yeah, that was by far my most favorite to date. So my favorite work of art from the American Art Collection, it's hard to say because there are so many, but I would have to start with Thomas Wilmer Dewing's A Reading and Norman Lewis's Torch, Joseph Stella's Purissima, Georgia O'Keeffe's beautiful, small, but lovely packs a punch red canna, and a new favorite, Irene Rice Pereira's Bird Motif, which we just acquired, and you got to come down and see it when the museum opens. So what have I been doing during COVID lockdown? A lot of work, still keeping up with my museum work, exhibition proposals, correspondence, and so forth. Homeschooling, I have 3 children, so busy with that. A lot of hiking, outdoor activities to the extent that we can, and yeah, just hanging around. It's hard to say when exactly I decided to become a curator, but I do know that my college experience where I worked in the museum on campus was incredibly influential. Had a great mentor at the time, and yeah, and decided to go to graduate school after that, had some great internships, and from there, really just decided that that would be the way to go for me. At some point, I couldn't think of doing anything else. Some difficult things about being a curator, choices really, you know, wanting to acquire 5 or 6 things and really only having the funding to acquire one or not at all. That's heartbreaking at times. And also just choices about exhibitions. I have so many ideas, so many great projects come my way, and we really can only do, you know, so many, right? So that's the hardest part. I've always enjoyed history, so American art's a really good fit for me. I just think there's just so much to learn just through close examination of these works of art and research. They tell us so much about our past. I also think there's a lot of stones that haven't been turned. There's so much opportunity in the field to learn about makers and works of art that just haven't been looked at before, haven't been discussed, and also to go back and look at well-known things and rethink them. I mean, really take a second look. So yeah, I'm just, there's so much work to be done in the field that I think it's really exciting. Hi everyone, thanks so much again for all your amazing questions at #AMA today. Really enjoyed them, made me think. And yeah, I'm excited to have you all come down to the museum when it's open in just a couple weeks. So thanks again, Stephanie Meyer Heydt from the High Museum of Art. Thanks.